IndyCar Weekly once again here live on GlacierTV.
Tickets for the infield?
Shut up, Randy. We're live on GlacierTV, episode 5 of IndyCar Weekly. The gang's all here. Apologise for starting a little bit late. Don't think till the local 49 at Indy got in our way. We'll talk more about that another time because it's not IndyCar. It's classic IndyCar, but we can't bother to talk about it right now. Matt Cook, John Pausick, Dave Johnson, Randy Cosmo in the house. Dave, it's crazy week 13.
Lots of fun to be had. Figure 8 racing, watching and spectating week 13 street stocks. A lot of fun all around.
So, plenty to talk about once again here on IndyCar Weekly. Once again, we apologise for the tardiness of our arrival. We also apologise for Randy Cosmo talking all over me, because there's got to be something surely wrong with him. But we are going to start today by talking a little bit about what's happened in the last 12 weeks, Dave. Season 2, it's out of the way, it is done, it is dusted. We're going to move on to Season 3 in less than 1 week's time. And I tell you what, Season 2, pretty good this time around.
Yeah, in both open and fixed, very competitive. I mean, going to last week, you had 2-3 guys in each series able to win the championship. So very competitive. Lots of different winners in all 12 weeks. So, I mean, probably one of the better seasons we've had in a while.
And as far as we're concerned about the way this season overall has been gone, last year we had a little bit of an issue of participation, and the fact that as soon as the Indy 500 is out of the way, pretty much no one turned up for the rest of the season. This year it's been a lot different in the fact that we've had, I wouldn't say great participation, but steady participation the entire season. A big improvement over where we were just 12 months ago. Fix has been working pretty well. Open, again, participation has not been great, but there has still been some good racing when we've had it.
Yeah, it's been nice to see that the Indy lull wasn't not as big as it could be. A lot of positives going on in the IndyCar community with a really awesome schedule for next season that was kind of came together with some input from different members and stuff. Some great IndyCar tracks. I think some positive momentum is rolling for the iRacing IndyCar series.
So, good momentum going forward, and of course we say goodbye to the iRacing.com IndyCar Fixed Road Series. And in some ways it's a bit of a shame, because we had ourselves some pretty interesting times in that series. It started off with really good participation, but as some people were saying all the way back at the beginning, it was always going to hurt the roadside. It did hurt the roadside. And perhaps now this is a rejuvenation that the road open side, I'm going to get my words out, I promise, the road open side needs to kick their series back into high gear.
Agreed. Also, iRacing shortening some of the races to be a little more rational will help the participation as well. I mean, last season some of the races were longer than the World Championship races, so that's pretty crazy. So now that they're back to shorter lengths, they're still going to be fun, with pit stops and strategy and everything, but you don't have to sit at your computer for an hour and a half and run one IndyCar road race. So that should definitely help as well.
And you talk about that, actually. Those races, they were almost at ISOWC levels. They were that long. It really did kind of hurt the participation over the roadside last season.
For sure, without a doubt. Sorry, I don't really do the road side of things, so it's kind of hard for me to comment on it. Will
never admit you don't know anything. Just fudge it.
Yeah,
that's what the best do.
Nah, I'm too honest.
That's what some racing ninjas do. They just Google stuff and they look things up and pretend like they know what they're talking about. So, you got a great lead to follow. Maybe you should try that.
Got to love our racing ninjas here on iRacing. But we've looked at the past. We're looking forward. This season 3 season, it's always the time of new beginnings. I say you always have new teams come along. You always have new people come along. It's that momentum as we get ourselves to 2013 season 4, which I always say is the toughest season of the year to win. That momentum, it all starts now. You start planning for the 2014 Indy 500. You start staking your claim right now. And over the course of the next 3 seasons, you'll build yourself up. And Dave, there are a lot of changes taking place with teams, with drivers, new people coming in, old people leaving, or at least claiming they're leaving. They'll probably be back at some point. And, you know, it's that new landscape once again.
Yeah, I mean, a lot changes in 12 weeks. We got a lot of newcomers coming in. We got new variables in iRacing in some of the league sessions. You can have variable weather, you know, high humidity, fog. That can really play havoc with setting, you know, for your setups and stuff. The iRacing official series will have constant weather, but still a lot to look forward to. A lot of new names, I'm sure, and I'm sure there'll always be a couple of guys that come out of left field that, you know, didn't even realize they were there, and they make a stamp on their season real quick.
So, we'll talk a little bit more about Season 3 in more general. Right now, we are in Week 13. Week 13 means complete and utter craziness. As far as Week 13 goes with iRacing Sanction Series, we have ourselves the 24 the fun in the IndyCar, which races at Laguna Seca and at Rockingham, the North Carolina version, you know, the bullshit piece of version, not the real life Rockingham, which everyone loves over in England. That actually hosted 2 IndyCar races, may I say as well. Thank you. And we also, where else are we running? At Charlotte, yay. And I can't remember the 4th track, because to be honest, it's Week 13. What's the 4th track, Randy?
I don't know. I'm checking real quick.
Okay, while you go and check, get yourself another Coors Light out of the fridge. You're here for a while now. But we also had ourselves a very, very interesting race just 24 hours ago. John Pausek, would you like to explain what happened?
Before I move on to the Will Vincent Challenge, sponsored by but not necessarily approved by Will Vincent, I do have a little bit of Week 13 news, just going back to that topic. As we all know, one of the drivers that attracts a lot of attention on the iRacing General forums, Abbas Ladek, he actually won his 2nd career race this Week 13, the street stock, at South Boston Speedway. So what do you think the odds are that there's going to be another party at Selma's?
I've got some sheep already to bring, buddy.
Red Cups. Whoa, very quickly, what the fuck does this have to do with IndyCar?
Oh, I don't know. I really didn't want to talk about the IndyCar stuff at Rockingham because that racing was terrible. And the Will Vincent Challenge, I don't know. I wrecked out really early. I took Randy out. I feel really bad. I don't want to talk about it.
But John, the Racing Ninjas said that racing at Rockingham in the United States was going to be awesome and amazing and so much fun that we wouldn't be able to stand it.
The track itself, it wasn't terrible in comparison to, like, I don't know, Dover or Atlanta, Charlotte. The racing might be a little bit better, but the track is so bumpy that to get the car around the track without dragging the nose, you have to have the nose up all the way to the max, and it creates this weird oversteer, understeer thing, and the rear end wants to kick out when you hit certain bumps, and I just feel like in the official series, we think there's a lot of fireworks at tracks like Texas or Dover. It would be 10 times worse at Rockingham because it would just be such a melee, I think.
Very quickly, I would like to apologise for my pathetically foul language. You are aware that all of our broadcasting on our short shows may contain strong language. If you don't like it, fuck off. It's Week 13 after all, I can say what I want.
But I heard there aren't any protests. Yeah, no official tests, Will, so I think you can say what you want.
Yeah.
And speaking of Week 13, Interlagos is the other course that Delar is running at this week.
Oh, the track that everyone loved until Montreal came out and realised that Montreal is 10 million times better. Awesome! But I'm going to have an actual logical conversation about Rockingham, North Carolina very quickly.
Oh, come on.
I know. No, I'm actually going to do it.
Who cares? Not on iRacing. IndyCars are never going back there.
All right. The first question should be, is IndyCar in real life ever raced there, yes or no?
I don't know. I doubt it.
The answer is no, so let's move on.
No. I just want to make a quick point about this track because I want to agree with what Korzek said. Shut up, because it was really weird when I tested out that car, because I was using a kind of Dover-esque setup, changing the gears a little bit, and the way that you had to drive that track is you couldn't hold the bottom all the way around, but at the same time you couldn't dive down the inside of someone because you're going to brush up in the middle of the corner. So it's one of those tracks that would demand a lot of respect from one driver to another, and tracks like that, I always say, very, very, very good for racing in hosted leagues when you at least assume that there's more respect and there's people who'll kick people out the series if they don't behave. Official series, when everything's going to be classified as a racing incident, not going to happen. Let's move on. Laguna Seca. Randy, you love Laguna Seca in the IndyCar, don't you?
Yes, I really do. It's a fun track. It can be difficult to pass at. Some guys, you either love it or hate it, it seems like, with the IndyCar road guys, but I like it.
Oh yeah, there's Laguna Seca. Interlagos, do you like that as well?
Yeah, very fun, challenging track. A little tough. It took me longer, and a lot of the guys, the regular road guys, when it first came out, it took a little while to get up to speed at that track. But once you got the flow of it, it presented a unique challenge. A lot of fun as well.
Dave, the thing about Interlagos as well is because of the altitude of that racetrack and the way the engine and everything works, it is in some ways a bit like the crazy Japanese tarmac that we had to get used to at places like Okayama and Suzuka, Motegi on the roadside. The difference in the car from what we're used to in the classic United States tracks and the European tracks does make a profound difference for the Indy cars to run at.
Yeah, I mean, I don't run enough road to really notice much of a difference because half the time I'm just trying to stay on the tarmac. But there is a noticeable difference with the altitude and everything, and less power and all that good stuff. So somebody else who knows better can take over because I don't know. Oh wait, I didn't follow my own advice of BSing it, so...
Precisely.
Yeah, that didn't last very long.
You know, actually, well, I should say that the track is very realistic. iRacing has done a great job. I would know because I've driven a Dallara on Interlagos in my real life, well, my life, and it's so realistic I can't even tell you. There.
I'm not even going to quantify that with a decent response. And then the fourth track, Charlotte. Charlotte, we all know it's a track where I apparently love. But
because you're the world record holder.
I am.
Give props to yourself.
Woo! But at the same time, it's an absolute clusterfuck to race at, especially in Week 13 races. Matt?
Yeah, I actually spectated one of them, and there is a considerable amount of wrecks going on. It's just not even really racing.
By the way, iRacing isn't always about wrecks. Don't forget, head over to iRacing.com right now, get yourself half price of your first 3 months membership. Or, alternatively, if you're a current member, get 1 year free if you sign up for another year right now. So that's 2 years of the Lotus 49, 2 years of Montreal, 2 years of IndyCar. Perhaps in the next 2 years, we might get the D-fucking-W12.
Hey, don't forget you get 2 years of Irwindale on the figure 8 track.
Yes.
Woo! By the way, we've all fallen in love with Irwindale and the figure 8s. It really is an interesting 24 the fun race, Randy, because you got the Ettas, which are like a tank, but are pathetically slow if you can't drive it properly. You've got the Solstice, which is just shit, and then you have the Mazdas, which, depending when where they get hit, could either be a tank or it could fall apart because it's partially made out of plastic and aluminium tinfoil.
Yeah, that figure 8 course is something else. I'm
not sure if Randy's the guy to ask about this one.
Well, yeah, I'll share the story. It's kind of fun. I got a nice letter from iRacing, and whereas they complimented me for my backwards driving style through the figure 8, they did ask me not to do that anymore. So, whereas I don't think they're really taking the protest serious, I do think that there are some guys that really, really like this figure 8, and they're taking it serious. So I'm kind of staying away from it but I got to admit, it was a lot of fun just for the mayhem that it created. So just wanted to throw that out there.
Hey, Randy, what prompted you to have to go in reverse?
Well, somebody hit me and I spun around and I didn't want to lose my position, so I just threw it in reverse and kept going. And with the speed of these cars, it was like, hey, I'm kind of keeping up pretty decent with them. So I just continued on driving backwards, but it really offended somebody, and somebody protested me. So, but no big deal. I really shouldn't have done it. So I'm through with week 13 at Irwindale in the figure eights, unless we put up a hosted session. Then that might be fun, John.
Ooh.
And
Maybe
I'm thinking
Will could
Randy's-
broadcast it.
I'm thinking Randy's the only one who's been the victim of a successful protest the entire week 13.
Yep.
well, but
Do you know why?
suspended, so it really wasn't successful. But I did get the nice letter, like I said.
Do you know why? It's because Randy drinks a shit beer called Coors Light, and iRacing take offense to it.
Moving on. So Matt Cook, what do you think of that Lotus 49? I see you're in a session right now. Maybe you can give us some real-time feedback.
Requires major throttle control. The car's going left, right, up and down. It doesn't make a difference. And you will find yourself doing barrel rolls in the air if you hit anything.
Quote of the
hoping-
year.
I was hoping
Please.
we were going to get a live crash there.
Tell me about the car.
You actually have driven the Lotus 49 in real life, so you can give me realistic feedback on this, right?
Oh yeah, totally. I mean,
Hey,
this
Randy's
car
old
was
enough.
beautiful.
Randy, you're old enough to have it driven this thing, right?
I can't believe I'm the one to say this, but speaking seriously about this, I'm actually really excited for the Wings Are for Kitty Cats League that the Bettenhausens are hosting.
Yeah, you know what? I agree 100%. That will be fun. There was a group of us last night running in Pocono without the wings, and oh my gosh, you really have to drive that car, and it is a lot of fun. I think it's going to be a good series. You're right, John.
Yeah, that's
Definitely
going to
going to be really competitive.
absolute test of driver skill.
Talking about mayhem, I was actually driving the IndyCar at Pocono with a 30-mile-an-hour headwind down the front straightaway.
How'd that go?
Interesting. Needless to say, it's no longer flat out.
Interesting.
But that's the thing about week 13 as well. We try out new cars, we try out new tracks. Dave, you tried out Montreal with me the other day. What a fucking beautiful track that is.
Oh, yeah, Montreal was amazing. We were racing in the Corvette CR6. A lot of fun. Unfortunately, a bit too much fog for my liking. I couldn't see where the hell I was going. But still a lot of fun, and I'm pretty sure that Will's still mad at me because I wrecked him.
That's right, I came back out on the track and wrecked you afterwards. It's the way shit goes.
Didn't you do one of those strap-on headlights on your helmet, Dave?
The Corvette has a headlight, so I did not need to bolt anything onto my helmet.
Oh, okay.
From one piece of craziness to the other, John, let's talk about the Will Vincent Challenge, allegedly endorsed by Will Vincent. I'm still undecided whether or not I'm actually going to endorse it or not, because I only came second.
Get the voodoo doll first, John, then answer.
Yeah, you
it
still
was-
got stuff on him.
It was actually a lot of fun. I mean, we had a good turnout. I was hoping for a few more IndyCar regulars, but I think we started with 20 cars or so. I ran out of gas on the very first stint and overshot my pit box. And of course, when that happens, you've got to tow all the way back. So my race was over about 5 laps in, which meant I got the chance to spectate a lot of it. And it was really interesting to see the varying strategies that was playing out as the race was going on. And true to the name, Will Vincent was out there trying to stretch it, running out of gas every single time out there, trying to get every little drop of fuel burn that he could. And you ended up second, Will, so you almost won your namesake race.
I did, and I was about 18 seconds back, and I got myself an 18-second speeding penalty because I forgot that when I run out of fuel and then turn the car back on, the pit limiter doesn't automatically engage. Oops. But, I mean, it was a fun race, and the thing is with Homestead as well, it's by far one of the most difficult tracks to pit in, because you've got to use an access road. Little tip for anyone who's crazy enough to do one of those races again, if you run out of fuel, you can actually take the access road flat out, so therefore you don't even need to worry about braking. There we are.
And Matt Lambertson really ran a fantastic race. I don't think I saw him put a wheel wrong the entire time, and that was an impressive drive. We specifically chose Homestead because it is so evil getting onto and off of pit road, and Matt ran a good race with that brand new Team Velociraptor. So
Yeah.
it was good to see.
I heard he's getting being chased by a racing ninja T-Rex. There you are. You can laugh on that one, Dave. But good race. Are you going to tell us what the second one is yet?
I might make the announcement this weekend. If not this weekend, early next week, we'll publicly announce where the next one is going to be. It's going to be even crazier than the first one, though. I promise you that.
It's psychotic. I know you've had to tone it down because I tried the version that you suggested, and it was actually physically, humanely impossible.
So yeah, sometime early next week is probably when the next race is going to be announced.
There we are. Let's talk a little bit about upcoming races, shall we? We've got the Will Vincent I'm going to make everyone's life hell race coming up on Sunday. Dave, it's the ISOWC Kentucky 400.
Yeah, and you're such a bastard, you're going to make us pit on the access road.
At Kentucky.
Ugh.
I know.
Well, you know what? Just another opportunity to show your skills in pitting and gain some time in case the weather isn't quite to your liking and it screws with your setup. Maybe you can make it up on a pit stop.
That's an important thing to talk about. Realistic weather now in the ISOWC. Starting out at Kentucky, we'll talk about that for Kentucky first because it is a track where, because there's not that much banking, and the cars pretty much are running on the limit of what they can. In the draft already, they can struggle. Add a change in wind direction, a drop in wind speed, a build up of wind speed, that can make a huge difference to how much that car pushes, especially in turn 3 and 4.
Yeah, it's really going to be interesting. Basically, you enter the session and you'll find out what the weather is. So that's guys that can figure out the setup really quick are going to take full advantage of that, and I think that's a good thing. The most talented guys who can make good setups, I think that would benefit them.
And then don't forget the wind and the weather changes over the course of a run as well. Yeah, you can laugh.
No, I'm sorry. I saw something else that drew my attention for whatever reason.
Did it involve a border collie?
I bet it was I'll bet you it was forum induced.
Is that what we're calling Danica this time?
No.
Well, she is a bitch.
Nicely played.
But yeah, in fact, I am going to bring Danica into this conversation because we did have a point raised about the 2013 ISOWC Indianapolis 500. We'll introduce that properly in just a moment's time. But realistic weather. Dave, I was talking to you about this before we came on air, and my attention drew immediately back to the 2010 Indy 500 happy hour, when no one wanted to go out at all for the hour previous, and then all of a sudden, a little bit of cloud cover, the track temperature goes down 3 or 4 degrees, everyone wanted to go out. That is just how fine it can be in real life. Realistic weather, it makes that difference, and you've got to think more about, oh, I can go and do my run now. It's about, is the track cool enough? Is the wind direction the way I want it to be? That realism adds another dimension to everything, especially for an intense fall-lap qualifying.
Yeah, well, that weather is really going to play a big factor now, just as it does in real life. And weather could change so quickly too. I mean, you could have forecasts that tell you what the weather's going to be, and if the winds change or whatever, or you like on iRacing, if you anticipate maybe a 5-mile-an-hour wind and then the winds kick up and they're in the session they're 10 miles an hour, you're going in turn 1 with a 10-mile-an-hour wind speed instead of 5. I mean, that can make a huge difference.
Will, as a guy who hosts this race and thinks about things like this, what are you going to do about the fact that or hour to hour?
Right, you need to say that again. You decided that you didn't want to put the most important part. It's like you gave me 2 bits of bread, but you didn't give me the meat in the middle. I want the meat in the middle.
Horse, you can't have your pudding.
That was terrible, Randy. In the real world, you can anticipate from hour to hour what the weather is going to do. In the iRacing world, there's no way of knowing. So what do you think about that factor?
The radars went down at the racetrack. Deal with it.
Well, that's not very satisfactory.
You know what? you get into the session early, make a good use of the time that you have before the race starts, and do your best to make a setup that's good for the conditions at hand.
Alternatively, you could just become more friendly with your in-car tools. Hey everyone, my name's Scott Goodyear for the next minute. You have, of course, the anti-roll bar front and rear. You also have the weight tracker, which can really affect the change. And you've also got now things, John. I mean, this is one of the reasons why I think it'll be interesting if you bring this into official series. Things like wing changes, tyre pressure changes. It's going to be a game changer because the way that most setups are designed at the moment, a lot of things, you put to one setting and you never change. All of a sudden, those things can actually be a huge difference maker.
Yeah, you're right, Will. It's going to add another level of complexity, I think. The guys who really have a good mastery of what the in-car tools can do and what their effects are in different circumstances, it's going to be a clear advantage for those guys.
So let's formally introduce the 2013 ISOWC Indianapolis 500 coming your way live and exclusive. It is exclusive because ETV and PSR TV aren't showing it because, yeah, Glacier's doing it. But the race on the 25th of August, start time 4 p.m. GMT. Qualifying taking place the week before, Saturday 17th of August, pole day. Sunday the 18th of August, bump day. And Dave, you've ran in both of the ISOWC Indy races, haven't you?
No, actually, this one will be my first.
Okay. This shows occasionally when you bullshit, you get it wrong. Randy, you've run in both of them, haven't you?
I think I have.
Randy's an old guy. He can't remember that far back.
No.
Jeez.
Well, hey, John, he can't help it. All those years of running the Lotus 49, shook his brain loose. True.
And then, of course, Lotus 79 after that. And from that, he went into the IRL 03, which then became the IRL 05. And don't forget the McLaren as well. But the way qualifying works, Randy, I'll talk to you about it. It really is the most frustratingly complicated, nerve-wracking experiences drivers face all year long.
Yeah, and when you throw in the weather element, that's going to make it interesting as well.
No. Okay, we're going to go back to basics. Take the weather away for a minute. The way it works, you have yourselves 3 runs on pole day. You have 3 runs on bump day if you need to use it. That is it. None of this you can qualify every hour on the hour from midnight GMT on Tuesday through to midnight from GMT on Friday, giving you, 100 sessions almost to qualify. You get a maximum, and I mean an absolute maximum of, 6 attempts to get your job done. And that really does put huge pressure on these drivers.
It does, and it's probably one of the most entertaining days of the year. I know we did it for the ISOWC, the whole live qualifying thing. It's also something that's been done in the 16th Street League, where you end up having just a group of guys sitting around and watching everyone else qualifying. And it does a good job replicating what it must actually be like at the racetrack for these qualifying days, because you've got all your competitors sitting there next to you on pit road, and you're taking a ribbing if you go out and wreck the car, or you get the congratulations in real time if you put down a fast lap. So it's a unique way of doing it, and I think it's much better than the grinding sessions of the official Indy 500 that iRacing hosts every year.
No offense to iRacing, but I mean, all that as well, I've always said to iRacing that, you could just do 1 day's worth of qualifying, or just do 3 sessions worth of qualifying, and it would add that excitement to it. Of course, everyone's qualifying at the same time. Compare that to the fact that everyone's, qualifying 1 at a time, and you have your competitors watching you, which does add an even scarier element into it, and some poor little bitch has got to sit there and calculate times all weekend. It's interesting, shall we say. We've got a fucking Irishman in the room. No, how you doing?
Hello. Oh, Jesus, sorry, I have a cold.
That's right. Don't give it to Randy. He's old. He might die.
I'll see you guys later. I gotta go to bed, man.
Yeah.
Oh.
Isn't it only 4:30 your time, Randy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only midnight here in Ireland. Like you guys must have like 8 p.m. over there.
I don't know, 7 p.m., 7 Eastern. That's why we start at 7 Eastern. But
Okay.
Hey, Will.
yeah,
Since we have some members here, can we talk about the new teams?
yes. No, because we haven't finished the thing that we were talking about in the first place. And this
Who
is
cares?
important.
Nobody cares about the
That's
ISO.
No. This is important because last year the ISOWC in the Indianapolis 500 was raising money for the Lance Armstrong Foundation, and then Lance Armstrong decided to finally admit to the world that he enjoyed pumping blood into his body. So we don't talk about that anymore. This year, we're raising money for Autism Speaks, which we have to say is a great organisation, and also one of our own, in Aaron Lakins, of course, is autistic, but a great spokesman for that charity. And I tell you what, I think pretty much half of iRacing's IndyCar people were watching when he got to wave the green flag on that Thursday down at IMS. Silence.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a cool moment for him to be able to wave the green flag on opening Indy practice at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Definitely very jealous of that, and a moment that I'm sure he will treasure for his entire life.
Oh yeah, that was epic. That's Aaron Lakins, wasn't it?
Yes,
Yes,
I
sir.
just said that.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not paying attention.
No one ever
In all
fucking does. It's okay.
In all seriousness, though, it is a cool thing to see the ISOWC associated with such a good cause, and it just adds another little benefit to actually hopping in and running that race.
Or as you
I will
called
s-
it,
I
the
will say
rigmarole
that-
of running it.
If I'm able to win the Triple Crown, I will donate 25% of my winnings to the foundation.
Only 25%?
Hey,
Just-
that's $50 for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
He's from Mid-Ohio. He doesn't get paid any money. How many groups have I offended here today, by the way?
I don't think you've gotten me yet, so we can try.
Yeah, true. I'm not allowed to make those type of jokes on air.
Well, I was just gonna say, at least I don't sit around, all day with my, sore knees on my computer. Is all. I do have a life.
Shall we
outside of
move
this.
on? Shall we move
I only
on?
have sore knees on the computer.
Oh, I don't think I've heard anything anti-Canadian yet.
We're moving on. John, should we talk about teams? That actually leads on perfectly.
How about we ask some of the new guys here? Velociraptor Racing. How about that?
Yeah, no, tell us about the fucking dinosaur racing.
I'm not in that team.
We're not talking about Randy again. Come on.
Who are we talking about?
Dinosaur.
Oh!
I am not part
Randy,
of Jurassic Park. You
Randy,
guys gotta go.
I'm sorry. It just fit too. It just fit too perfectly.
Well,
I'm
what,
sorry.
shouldn't Randy actually almost be an approaching dodo racing?
Randy, you're gonna have to switch allegiances to Velociraptor Racing just because you're in that time frame.
It's probably a nicer group of guys over there.
Well,
So-
they are one of the new teams. It's headed by Matt Lambertson, who's been around for a while. He's been on some big teams before, and it looks like he's collected a pretty good group. For some of the guys who are here, who have just joined a team, I wonder if you're a guy who's somewhat newer to the series, what are you looking for in a team that you're joining?
And silence.
Okay.
Oh wait. I'll give the Matt Cook answer.
Oh, okay, no, here we go. All right.
I want to have fast setups. I want to go fast.
It's more than setups, though. I mean, it's got to be. I would think that looking in from the outside, a group headed by Matt Lambertson would sort of just come with its own. Even though it's a new team, it sort of has that established. I hesitate
It
to
has
say
an
gravitas,
established
but
feel to it.
yeah, it's headed by a guy who knows what he's doing, and I think the ability to go out and recruit talent when you've got somebody like that.
Well, you look at some of the guys on there. Will Lamb, he's been around for a while. Matteo
starting a new
Bortoli's
team
been
is,
around for
is
a
a
while.
really
Shut up.
out again,
Mark
John.
Shawley's been around for a while. Matt Lambertson, fucking hell, he was on Afterburn for fuck's sake.
team?
Brandon Trost has been around for a while. Adam Dock's been around for a while. But then you have people who I don't know as much about.
It's going to be interesting to see how that team gels over the next season or two. New guys working together, learning their strengths and weaknesses, and trying to make their team better. Matt's has a lot of experience. He's seen the good and bad of teams on iRacing, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna have speed right away. Matt's really fast. It's just a matter of are they going to be able to close out some of these bigger races, and will the other guys be able to step their game up?
Right, because no one listens to Prozac, I'll ask the question to Kingsbury and McBride again. Not McBride, yeah, McBride. That's the one.
Hello.
Hello. You guys, what would you look for in an iRacing.com IndyCar team?
So social aspects, working together, making sure we're all doing like the same kind of races, and most importantly, as I already said, the social aspect is key. It's got to be about a friendly atmosphere. It's got to be like a family, that kind of thing.
I can tell you at least one team you won't want to be on then. Kingsbury.
Right. Well, I would just look for general setup knowledge, and like the social aspect's pretty big, because if you don't have good team chemistry, you're not going to perform well on the track, and you're not going to be able to do anything. You're not going to work together. You're not going to grow as a team at all. So that's really important.
I'd say that social aspect's pretty damn important. I mean, Randy and I have been friends for 2 years plus now. Occasionally, I piss him off. Actually, no, I'll take that back. Most of the time, I piss him off. Occasionally, he pisses me off, like when he decides to say that he's done something with his force feedback on his steering wheel when actually he's running a new setup. Remember that, Randy?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I took a lot of pride in punking you, and a lot of the other teammates gave me iRacing credits if I could actually pull it off, and I did. So, it was a lot of fun. And fun is what a team really is all about. Beyond setups, beyond anything else, if you're going to have fun, you're going to be successful. And I'm hoping that's what the new teams coming in, I hope they bring that within their own team so they get more out of this iRacing experience, because it's a blast.
Another example of teams is like, not sure if you guys ever played World of Warcraft, but like when you're in a guild and you have the kind of social aspect, that's what really makes the game so much fun.
He's lost
and if you
me
don't
already,
have
by the
that,
way.
if you don't have that social aspect in a game like that, like it just gets so boring and it's not as fun.
It just becomes a load of people shooting each other, which, to be fair, if I wanted to see that, I can just go to Lewisham or Peckham. There are places in England, by the way, called the Ghetto. But, I mean, that's the thing as well. I mean, iRacing, it can all be about setups, and you have a lot of privateers that will just work on setups by themselves and have a great time. You have a lot of people that are in a team, and they just work on setups, and they have a great time. And then, but that kind of 1 year curse comes back into play, I think, always, pause it, because people get bored after a while. They're not having fun, they'll get bored, and they'll go elsewhere.
Yeah, that's true. And, at Banshee and AeroX, it's something we've thought about. And what we try to do is inject new talent and new blood over time, from time to time. And I think when you get new guys coming in, new friends, new outlooks on setups and new attitudes and stuff, it's good to sort of keep things fresh, I think. I think it also helps outside of what happens internally. With all these new teams, it'll be interesting to see how quickly they can get up to speed, and if the level of competition gets stepped up a little bit. If you see new faces at the front week after week, it could really shake things up, and I think in the end, it's better for overall participation too.
You know what I think we need? We need the iRacing.com IndyCar draft.
So like a live fantasy draft.
Yeah, we actually draft people. I think we should get
Who would you pick number one? On the spot right now. Who would you pick number one?
Oh,
Young O.
No, I'm Andre Castro. No, this is new people who I haven't seen much about before. Andre Castro.
Oh, that seems like the safe answer.
Why? Who do you pick?
With silence.
I would draft myself.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Yes. Egomania right here.
You know who you wouldn't draft?
Dave Johnson with the truthful answer. Yeah,
I
I've
would
got some
never
ideas of who
draft
Dave
a
wouldn't
racing
draft.
ninja.
But it is
Can we-
interesting on the team vein. that for a while it seemed like there really weren't that many active teams in the IndyCar series, and it seems like this is a cyclical thing where it kind of dries up, and then after a while, I don't know if it's because of guys spinning off of big teams and then going off and creating their own ones or what, but it seems like just in preparation for season 3, there's been a lot of new groups coalescing, and it's just sort of interesting to see how people make their choices and all the fun stuff, like, you know, the names people pick and the groups that people pick. It's interesting stuff.
I think we still need to do it though next season at the end of season 12, and this is an open invitation to all the teams and all the drivers who start racing IndyCar this season. May or may not be on a team. If you're not on a team, you start racing IndyCar this season at the end of season 4. We're going to do it live here on IndyCar Weekly. The first ever iRacing.com IndyCar draft.
I think it's a terrible idea. Weren't we just talking about team chemistry and stuff?
Yeah.
You can find chemistry. And don't forget, in a draft, you have to agree with the people before you get the draft pick, remember? Do you not watch the draft? You're American, for fuck's sake, Borzak. Isn't that what everyone does in draft day? They have watch ESPN on the NFL Network.
Well, if you're Brad Sanford, you watch it with 8 different devices and...
Yeah.
But it's a different thing, though, because we don't recruit just for talent. We don't look at guys who are fast in the fixed series or guys who are fast in the open series. It's about who can get along with a group of guys you have. I think ultimately those are the teams that are successful, is when you enjoy working together.
Let's be honest, I don't get along with you. I think you're pathetic, useless cunt.
I know, and you think you're the team manager, but...
Swearing.
Yeah, you weren't here for the first half an hour of this broadcast, Niall.
Will's been on quite the roll here tonight.
Well, did you have a bad day at work today?
Well, actually, I was having to do work at 10 o'clock tonight, so yeah.
Oh, see, that explains a lot.
That and the future Mrs. Will Vincent's in Connecticut while I'm in England, which kind of sucks.
Oh, it's kind of cold here.
I only came home from work like half an hour ago, so, you know, don't complain.
Well, that sounded like a thinly veiled shot at Mr. Porzik there.
Yeah, I know.
It was more of an inside joke.
Yeah.
So this is quite the structured IndyCar Weekly we've got going here, guys.
I know, this is the best fucking IndyCar Weekly ever.
When it's off the cuff, that's when it's the best.
Yeah.
The Will Vincent Chat Show.
The Will Vincent Chat Show. Can we just rename it that?
I've been advocating that since week 1.
Well, if he won't even endorse the Will Vincent Challenge, why would he slap his name on this all willy-nilly?
To be honest,
the voodoo doll. That's why.
To be honest, we really did come up with the Will Vincent Challenge without any input from Will. It was really funny. He just woke up one morning and saw this poster and all this stuff going on. It was really entertaining.
That was nice, a picture that you had of him on the poster there. He looked very intense.
That was pretty epic, yeah.
I had to go trolling through Will's Facebook photos to find something suitable.
You must have found some crazy shit.
I like the pause there.
Yeah.
Like that picture, the leather pants one, remember that?
Oh, I do remember the leather pants one.
Were there any capri
I thought
pictures?
I thought we were going to use a picture of him in those damn capris that he was wearing at Indianapolis.
Ladies and gentlemen, here we go.
See, and you don't have. Oh hell, who was defending you last week?
This insult is brought to you by Bud Light. Bud Light, here we go.
You don't have Mr. Paquin defending your choice of pants this week, so you're kind of on your own.
That's right.
Well, the funniest thing is that Will, where do you shop again, Will? Like Forever 21 or where? It's something that's clearly a female store, and he showed up at Indy wearing female pants, so it's
They're
just
not
funny.
female pants.
Yes, they were. As a matter of fact, when we went into the Kentucky Fried Chicken, the gal asked Will if he wanted dark meat or light meat, and he looked back at us like, what the hell's she talking about? Remember that, Will?
I actually do remember that. That was like the
What the hell is it? What the hell is a dark meat and a white meat? I don't know. I don't
Oh my
understand.
god.
There we are.
Oh, really?
Another non-American. He's also confused.
So
Yeah,
it's
but he's
like,
also same from the
Merci,
same
mon
area,
poulet.
too.
You need to speak European English, please.
so if you have like some sort of bird, like a fowl, a turkey, a chicken, but some of the meat is white. It's the
Okay, yeah, white meat, and you got red meat. Simple, yeah?
Hey, when you're talking about
It
foul,
comes-
are we talking
it
about
comes
racing
from this-
ninjas?
yes, it comes from the same animal. It's like just a different. I don't even know. It's from a different part of the animal that the meat is darker.
White meat is breast. Dark meat is thigh.
Okay.
Oh, I understand.
There you
I think
go.
I understand.
There we are.
Thanks. Thank you for clearing that up.
I did my research.
was
So next
a
time I come to
highly
America, I don't
technical
look at
answer.
someone like thinking, "What the actual beep?" You do know that in England we don't have biscuits, we have fries.
That's a shame.
I know.
So, how about season 3? What do you think about the schedule?
Schedule's fucking
good.
awesome. Next.
Hey, how about that
Yeah.
awesome guy that won the strength of field fixed race at Phoenix in week 12?
Oh, yeah, you did a good job there.
Who's you?
Wait, what?
Drew Judson.
What are you
What?
talking about, Judson?
I'm trying to get shameless self-promotion here.
Oh, Judson, my
off.
favorite finish, by far, without a doubt, my favorite finish from the Fix series over the last season
Oh.
was when Dave Judson crossed the finish line upside down
How dare
above
you
the
kick
flag
me?
stand.
Oh yeah, that was a well. I'm assuming that you're talking about Iowa because some unscrupulous bastard kicked from the server for a moment. But yeah, finishing second upside down in the fence post, definitely a unique way to finish an IndyCar race.
And you finished P2, so I know you were angry at the time, but it was really pretty epic.
That was pretty good.
To me, it would have been worth it. I mean, you're right there in the stands. You could grab yourself a Coors Light. You're good to go. I mean, come on.
I think Dave has class. Will drink anything in but Coors Light.
Carlsberg. Drink Carlsberg.
The
Well,
Carlsberg's shit as well. I mean, the only thing that's worse than that is that Australian
Mike
piss
Larson coming
water.
up here
All right.
pretty soon.
All right, this is coming from Will Vincent, who won't drink beer. So his opinion on beer means nothing.
Yeah, that's because I drink
Exactly.
real alcohol, Dave. How much of that Jim
What's
Beam
that?
did I drink
What do
in
you
one
drink?
day?
What do you
How many
drink? Wicked?
shots? How many
Will
shots
drink-
did you hand out in Indy?
I handed out one to that frat party going across the road. That girl was hot.
What, the one
Yeah,
that
but
had
Will-
to go beyond the house?
Yes,
Will
her.
drank- Will, you drank a whole bottle of Everclear over what, 2 days or
Yeah.
3 days?
3.
What has happened to us?
I don't know.
It's
I'm
week
reminiscing
13.
about Indy now.
It is week 13. It's the
It's week 13 even on
chat
IndyCar
show.
Weekly.
We're
Yeah.
talking about we're talking about important things like food and beverage. Will, can you get
Hmm.
into the English muffins again?
They're
Oh,
not
yes.
Oh, we've been
fucking
over that
English.
way too many times. Way too many times.
What the hell is an English muffin?
Thank you!
It's a
Thank you!
English.
My God.
The closest thing to an English muffin is a sexual euphemism for fucking a posh bitch.
What about Canadian bacon?
What? Canadian
Canadian
bacon's
bacon.
amazing. Actually, we used to
Does
get
it come from the
Canadian.
same pig or what?
No, we used to have Canadian bacon in our bacon sandwiches at McDonald's 15 years ago. It was to die for. And then our country was like, oh, we can't import our food miles. And now they just kill pigs in England, which tastes like crap.
Please, like Canadian bacon is actually from Canada. Come on.
Yeah, true.
That's
To
just
be fair,
Canadians
you even
confused about
think
their
about
food.
taking that away. I prefer pancetta. Pancetta's the best. It's basically Italian bacon, but it's very delicious.
But we need to go back to the important point. Dave, the girl who went behind Scott's house to take a piss was pretty cute.
To be clear, she went behind the foreclosed house next to Scott, not in.
Oh
his
yeah, of
backyard.
course. Yeah, Scott,
Sounds
she
like a
didn't piss
classy
in your
lady here.
garden.
I have to say, Will, I was a little disappointed in your moves. I thought you really had the swagger to get a kiss from an American girl, and it just wasn't working for you.
Girls
Well,
all talk.
by that point, I was kind of drunk. Randy, remember that
Kinda.
time as well? That really drunk girl just tried asking me for a cigarette.
Yes, because she thought you were a one of those rappers, and when you're with your English accent and your dregs, she got all excited, and she was all over Will, and Will's looking around like, oh my, what do I do? So I don't know. I was disappointed, like Dave said, Will. to be
Yeah, you were
honest.
supposed to be my pimp that weekend, Randy.
You know what? I heard the stories. I heard the stories too, and I was really disappointed as well because Will had all these grand plans for carving his way across this swarm of females in Indianapolis and nary a bite, from what I
Yeah.
understand.
Well, he went back across the pond, still a virgin. So you know, we all felt bad.
You know, John, you could have been there and helped him out, but you decided to not come to Indy for whatever
Well,
reason.
to
We
be
even
fair,
had-
no.
I was
Look, no.
working.
I want to be fair to Paul, Zach. He has set me up with a new future Mrs. Will Vincent. I just need to get my green card. Or John, can I just come over and marry her, then automatically get my green card
yeah,
anyway?
You gotta marry her
It does.
first.
It's not that easy. It really isn't that.
You're a
easy.
fucking lawyer. Sort it.
Sort it out. Bye.
Okay then.
There
Hey,
we
can
are.
we talk about Mid-Ohio for a moment? The
Yes!
real Mid-Ohio.
Oh yeah, I like that track.
No, we're talking about the real life Mid-Ohio track. First of all, Dixie,
Oh.
4 for 4. There we are. There's the end of the racing conversation. And also, what the fuck? Who's driving the National Guard car this weekend? It's someone else again. It's Munoz or something, isn't it?
I'm not even sure if they know who it is yet.
Yeah.
There's a new guy, an Australian guy driving for Dale Coyne Racing. It's something Davison.
Yes, Davison's driving. But Dave, I'll tell you what, if you hang around the Panther Garage long enough, you might be driving for it.
Hey, you know, Nefri has seen me race in 16th Street League. I might have a shot at this.
I know. We should actually call Nefri up and see whether we can get any inside intel, but I haven't got Skype installed, so I can't do that, unfortunately.
See, Tim Doyle, he's definitely got more skill than I do, but I'm pretty sure it's not safe to be strapped in on top of some phone books so he could see over the steering wheel. So I'm sorry, Tim. Sorry, I had to do it just for comedy's sake. So I'm a little taller, so I think I could safely sit in the seat, and so maybe just by virtue of my couple extra inches of height, might be able to race Mid-Ohio.
Yeah, but don't forget, Ryan Briscoe drove that car, and he was, within the legal height to be classified as a hobbit.
Dave,
Do not kill my dream.
who's on the guest list? Who's on the confirmed guest list for Judson Fest at Mid-Ohio?
Okay, first off, it is on Saturday, August 3rd, around 5 to 6 p.m. after the IndyCar autograph session in the campground outside the Keyhole. Any iRacer or anyone who's interested in iRacing can join us. We'll have an iRacing banner to help find where we're at in the campground. And Carrie Bettenhausen is hopefully able to arrange a visit with an NBC Sports Robin Miller and essentially Derek Walker.
Nice.
And those guys want to explore the interest in iRacing and the passion for IndyCar fans on iRacing. So kind of an exploratory thing, and maybe get to chat with them a little bit and just have a good time. So if you are in Mid-Ohio on IndyCar weekend, we'd invite you to stop in and visit and maybe share a ice cold Coke or another sort of adult beverage and just have a good time, share racing stories and have a good time.
If you do go to this, by the way, I am going to let you know in advance, there's a 0% chance that you're going to be getting laid at that time.
Aw, man.
I know.
Why would you scare everyone off like that?
Dave, so
That just defeats the whole point of being there.
what do you think you're going to do to adequately demonstrate the enthusiasm for iRacing with those guys?
I think if those guys are able to talk with some really passionate drivers who, just have a love for IndyCar and a love for being able to, race the IndyCar on the most realistic sim that's available, I think they can get a really good feel for, there's a lot more than just, we're a small sample, but I think that people can understand that there's a lot more of us out there that are just, wanting to race IndyCar and the DW12 on iRacing. And, just an exploratory thing. Those guys aren't really aware of how, awesome iRacing is. And I think once they see it for themselves and they see the guys that are racing it, just sparks some more interest.
Hey guys, did you know that if you go to iRacing.com right now, you can get yourself half price off your first 3 months membership? I know. Or if you're a current iRacing member, you can buy 1 year and get 1 year for free, which means it's $99. Yeah, but just make sure if you put in the Lotus 49 into your cart and you accidentally get a 2-year membership subscription, make sure you check it before you hit the fucking pay button.
I don't think that was off the official script, Will.
Oh, it's okay. Also, I just noticed, if you go to iRacing.com, sorry, Facebook.com/iRacing, I've got a better deal for you. Wait, there's more! Go to
my God.
Yeah, there's more. Buy 1 month, get not 1 month, but 2 months for free.
Shut up and take my money.
Isn't there a deal where, like, if I'm a new member, I buy 1 month and then Will Vincent buys me 6 months for free?
No.
Oh,
There's the
darn it.
Cadillac Cup Racing one that lets you get a few free tracks and I think 3 months membership for free.
Yeah, you get
That is a
the
good
caddy
deal.
for free, and that's about it.
Mid-Ohio and Mosport.
Yeah, there we are. Go to
This is for our-
CadillacCupRacing.com.
This is for our large audience that is not already a member of iRacing.com.
Yeah, if you've somehow stumbled across this on YouTube and you've listened to all of this bullshit for the last 55 minutes...
God bless you.
Yeah, thank you. I'll tell you what, I will buy you a month's membership to iRacing personally. If you leave a comment...
They got to give you a special word, though. What's a secret word?
Oh, this is going to be bad.
Ninja. Racing Ninja. If you post Racing Ninja in YouTube, the first person to post Racing Ninja on YouTube who is not a current iRacing member will get 1 month. I'll send them $12. I'll send them $12, therefore you can get a 3 months membership to iRacing for free. Yeah, oh my apple fucking pie. Alternatively, I could just give you a link to Cadillac Cup Racing and you get it for free anyway, so therefore I don't need to give you any money, but hey, who gives a shit?
I heard that offer, Will, and I'm going to hold you to it.
Oh, you going to sue me?
He can't,
Yeah,
he's a
for
lawyer.
$12.
Yeah.
People are sued for a lot less, I'm sure you can attest to that, Mr. Porzik.
Nah, I only have high-class clients.
Ooh.
I didn't know there were anybody high class in that state you're in.
Nicely played.
I totally bombed it.
You
I'm
have
sorry.
been in Southern Connecticut, right?
Week 13.
Danica,
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 we haven't really
Danica.
talked about her enough. I'll confess that when Dave was talking earlier, I was posting all sorts of provocative pictures of Danica Patrick. She really is good looking when you have the full
When you're drunk?
the full suite of Photoshop tools available to use on her. She really does look good.
And breast enlargement.
Yeah.
Photoshop does do some favors, yeah.
Damn breasts.
This is the worst one of these we've ever done.
It's the worst one, but it's the fucking best one at the same time.
Hey,
and I've not
we're
even started
having
drinking
fun.
yet.
It's having fun, yeah. It's all about fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, by the way, we're talking about teams earlier. If your team dynamic is like this, you're onto a winner.
Face bomb.
Is there anything else that we need to
Is
talk
that your
about?
bombshell? Was that your bombshell?
I wasn't paying attention. What did he say?
I don't know. Is there anything else we need to talk about? Yes, there is. Matt.
Well, we didn't talk about anything of substance the entire hour we've been sitting here. So
We didn't talk about Pocono.
Oh god.
But Matt, you and I were going to have an intelligent conversation about tires, weren't we?
No.
Oh, there's
Yes, we were. Our intelligent conversation about the changes to the new build, and the fact that they changed the tires and the tire heating up process, and the fact that we decided that qualifying runs are going to be slightly more difficult, and restarts, they're going to be hell on old tires, potentially. Remember?
Yeah, okay, that's definitely true about the restarts. Tires heating up, I really think that's going to be track-based and, well, setup-based. I mean, you could probably change around, like, depending upon your tire pressures, you might be able to raise them or lower them accordingly.
Yeah, I've had a nightmare trying to drive the IndyCar on Long Beach when we had a host session and a qualifying session. It's just every time you try to set yourself up for a good lap, like I'll say about 3 or 4 laps into it, you get either somebody spinning in front of you or you make a mistake. It's just so frustrating. You gotta be clean those first few laps to get an actual time to get an actual qualifying time done.
Well, it sounds like the tires on the road side have been affected much more than you could feel it on the oval side, because I know we've done a little bit of preliminary.
Hold the fucking page! An Australian's walked into the room!
Drop bear.
Oh, shit.
He
Good
forgot
day, mate.
we were on again.
What's
James,
happening?
we are live on the air.
Oh, awesome. Hi, everybody.
Hey, James, I remember you. You won the Indy 500 last year in the rookie class.
I like
I
how
am
you
so,
put in the
yes.
rookie class at the end.
In
That was
the
epic.
rookie class.
And
In the
fall
rookie
off
class.
drop bear
And by the
as
way, you
well.
only won that race, James, don't forget, because David Ward's fucked up his pit stop.
Well, I also heard he had a cheater setup too.
Yeah, he did.
Well, you know, it's all about setups. It's not about talent.
No, it's not. None of it's
Clearly.
talent as well.
All you have to do is
Oops.
just turn. All you have to do is turn the wheel. That's it. Simple.
Yeah.
Brick
At the
it.
wall.
But congratulations on your Indy 500 win, James.
Oh, hey, thanks.
Last year.
Yeah. Last year.
in the
In the
rookie
rookie class.
When you win at Indy, you are remembered forever.
regardless of whether it's rookie class or A class or whatever.
Hey man,
We're still
it still
talking
felt
about
good.
it.
I did it this year. The third split, A class, epic.
There you go. It still feels good, man.
Honestly, I had no idea how I won that race. It was just, I was literally punching the air. I even drank milk at the end of the race. It was just so epic.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to
that's
give you a little bit of
awesome.
a story, actually, from my visit to John Paquin's house. He won the 16th Street Indianapolis 500 a couple of years back, and he'd not even got off the interview talking to Tim Terry, and his mom and dad were at the front door with a bottle of milk for him. That's family dedication right there.
Aww.
That's so good.
But we were talking, John, you were talking, and I rudely interrupted you.
Yeah, it was just about the tires. I think I had made my point that it's on the road side. I think the changes with the new build are far more prevalent there than it is on the oval side.
But
Tires heat up faster on the
qualifying
oval.
at places like Phoenix, Matt, that's going to really change the game, I think.
It might you're putting a lot more
It's-
pressure on your tires in the turns because we're taking them at such high speeds, especially with something with banking.
There's a lot of load in that track, yeah.
Yeah, so like turn one, I could see that you might end up slipping a tiny bit. You might have to take that a little bit easier. But if you really push the car hard going through turns 3 and 4 on your outlap, you might be able to heat them up enough it won't matter.
But in the race, it's going to be so many wrecks. Like, it was bad enough last season, but by next season, geez, it's going to be mental.
We have got one more thing to talk about, by the way. Before we get to that point, Dave, I want to correct the statement you made. It's actually the correct things that you need to say is, every day in Memorial Weekend comes a chance to cross these bricks and live forever. No votes, no politics, no thanks to the Academy, nothing. Just driver, machine, and pursuit of immortality. That phrase, by the way, is copyrighted to ESPN. I'm using that under Fair Use License, Section 107, whatever I think it is.
No, you're not. You don't even know what that means.
Yes, I do. It means I'm not making money for it, even though I am making YouTube money for it. So,
Hey, me
ESPN,
too.
suck my cock, because you don't do decent coverage of anything. That's why you're called Always Bad Coverage. From
I
one
am
coverage
not
story to
representing you.
another. Yeah, our YouTube channels are being closed down tomorrow. Oops. NASCAR. Yeah, I'm talking about NASCAR. NASCAR, they've moved half of their coverage to NBC and the NBC Sports
yeah.
Network.
Okay, let's talk about broadcasting because that's what
move
people care about.
Yeah.
Oh,
How
Best
is
move ever.
no? And this is a serious question, Dave. I want you to put this to Miller next weekend, and also to Walker.
no, Will, you're gonna buy a plane ticket and you're gonna fly to Cleveland, Ohio. I will drive you to Mid-Ohio, and you can ask him yourself. Got to do it.
Has
Once in a
anyone
lifetime.
got $900? I won't say borrow, steal. No, I can't steal because that would just put me into the same racial stereo class as everyone else. Damn it. Have. That's one. Have. For services.
Got to start up a website, get some donations.
What do you think I am, Travis Miller?
Set up a Kickstarter.
Kickstarter.
Kickstarter thing, yeah.
Yeah, how you doing, Travis?
Yeah, you could just say you're starting a truck team.
Yeah.
Yes.
But serious
That
question
better
here.
one, they get a collection to get the poor guy laid.
Serious
Hey, Black.
question. NASCAR
Yes.
and NBC, would it hurt IndyCar?
No,
No.
No.
it's hard to hurt it already.
Oh.
I said that.
Yeah, but it's true.
I do think
How
at
could
sometimes that
IndyCar?
IndyCar is a bit of a sadomasochistic freak that just likes inflicting pain upon itself.
It just doesn't know any better.
It doesn't really, does it?
We had Bo Barfield taking a holiday in Toronto and having Brian
No,
Barnett
he
in there.
wasn't taking a holiday. Apparently, he couldn't get into Canada, and that's a very easy thing to do. If you ever had a DUI, or you've ever smoked anything that might resemble some cannabis, or, I don't know, you
Oh,
ever
dear.
looked at a police officer the wrong way round, you don't get into Canada. In fact, how I got into Canada, I have no fucking idea.
I mean, come on, that's a little ridiculous. I mean, you get a DUI 20 years ago in, say, Georgia or something, then you can't come to Canada? I mean, what's the reasoning behind that?
Well, can we all agree that Canada is officially the worst country in the world? It's,
John, I hate you.
I'd like to refute that by saying it's the second
Straight
best
out of
country in the
1980
world.
World
I'm
Point.
from
Hey,
England. England's
if you
That's
really
where
fucked.
Jack Villeneuve
Importing
came from, so...
coffee.
Jacques Villeneuve. Jacques Villeneuve. Jacques
That's where Jacques
Villeneuve.
Villeneuve came
No,
from.
no,
and
we'll
Paul
talk about
Tracy.
Jacques Villeneuve very quickly. Great in '95, had a good car. Good in '96. He did like spraying oil over Damon Hill in his first race. Good in '97. He did have to wait for Schumacher to crash into him before he had a chance to win the championship.
That Williams was terrible in the rain.
Yeah, and then he went to BAR. Craig Pollock, we can win our first race.
That was pretty much it.
Yeah.
And then fast forward 10 years and he's wrecking Danica Patrick.
I know, in NASCAR.
Yeah.
In the rear.
So, basically, to sum it up, James Hinchcliffe is a better driver than Jacques Villeneuve. And on that bombshell, we're going to fuck off. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Who do you think you are, Jeremy Clarkson?
Yeah, fuck you.
Ninjas.
I love
Good
ninjas.
night.
Ninjas and bridges.
Ninjas! Should we just carry on for a bit more?
During the broadcast and stuff, we have like pit reporters. I think during the broadcast for this, you know, the Will Vincent Chit Chat show or whatever the fuck you want to call it, we should have forum reporters. You know, somebody going into the forum saying, "Oh, you gotta check out this forum. This idiot said that." So on and so forth.
You're gonna have Ted Kravitz and Jack Root and all them.
Can we translate? Yeah, can we translate that into American? We need to have Will Buxton in his tight. I mean, come on, you talk about my fucking dress. Will Buxton in those tight red fucking jeans.
At least
What?
his go all the way down
Red.
to his shoes.
Yeah, it was hot.
Have you turned the broadcast off at this point?
No.
Okay. Good to know.
And by the way, when did the broadcast start? Because Dave and I were having a chit chat, and I didn't know we were on the air.
Shit.
Yeah, the broadcast starts when it starts, and it finishes when it finishes.
Uh-oh.
That's really specific.
It is.
Yeah.